Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today, we say Hail to the Chief one last time. You're looking at the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date II. This is the reference 218235 in 18-karat Rolex rose gold, 41 millimeters. This model, if you've been following Basel World 2015, has a unique distinction. It is both discontinued and the former Rolex flagship, the largest day-date ever built, and it seems going forward, it is the largest day-date that will be built, because the new day-date 40 unveiled at Basel World is smaller, it's less robust, it has less wrist presence, it's been pared down, but there are those for whom a smaller day-date just isn't the answer. If you want a watch that can go shoulder to shoulder with larger contemporary models, that's got a sports watch stance but a dress watch ambiance to it, this Day-Date 2 218235 with the powerful combination of a matte black dial, rose gold with matching rose gold applied Roman numerals has the elegance of a formal piece, but it's got the square-shouldered stance of a sports watch. And it wears, I would say, even larger than its nominal size. There are some 41s that feel fairly petite. Not this one. Those familiar with contemporary Rolex Explorer 2s or the Supercase GMTs and Submariners understand what I mean when I say they wear bigger than their rated size. Yes, the minimum distance between 2 points around the round section might be 41, but in every other respect, this feels like a 42, 43, even 44 millimeter watch. It's got a lot of presence, and all of this rose, almost red gold, really brings out the lines of the watch and expresses it fully. Now the dial has tremendous impact, because not only is this a fairly large 41, but it has possibly the most expressive, powerful combination in the Rolex catalog. Applied rose gold Roman numerals surrounded by a fluted rose gold bezel that really breaks up the expanse of all that gold and draws the eye outward or inward. But there's directionality to it that directs the attention. And when it's directed inward, you see that matte black. It stands out starkly against the colored light gold, the gold hands, the applied gold Rolex coronet, and then you've got the white day and date discs for added effect, plus a very discreet train track sector chapter ring around the entirety of it all. This watch has a tremendous amount of character, it has a tremendous amount of presence. It's not an anonymous timepiece, but at the same time, it's not obnoxiously overt. It's an excellent taste, beautifully detailed and beautifully proportioned. I'm also going to mention that the President bracelet, the only part of the watch that is officially called the President, the watch is the Day-Date, nicknamed the President, the bracelet truly is the President. Polished on the very sides of the lugs, brushed on its shoulders, polished down the center links. There's a great deal of contrast going on here, and it's silky smooth against the wrist. It's more robust in feel than the 5-link Jubilee, but it's more delicate and refined in appearance than the traditional 3-link Oyster sports watch bracelet. If you haven't experienced the President bracelet, you may as well experience it on the biggest and the best, because like William Howard Taft, this is the last of the big presidents. And the bottom line is everything about this bracelet reads as top quality. Now, 18-karat Rolex gold, poured by Rolex, every part made by Rolex. They do everything in-house, including their clasps, including their bracelets. It closes with the sound of almost a mini Mercedes door, and I mean like 80s Mercedes, old school. A nice solid thunk when it closes. It's always been very discreet, lower in profile than the thick sports watch Oyster clasp. You can see that the hallmark is that you can only see the joinery point, the point where the two ends meet, at that 5-point coronet. That is the seam between the two ends of the bracelet, and while previously it was just a hook for you to get your fingernail under and open it up, today it's actually, I'll show you this, an articulated pivoting link in its own right. This pivoting link actually moves, just like so, and it adds refinement to the motion of that clasp open and shut. Again, it's just a little detail that Rolex added that makes it that much more fluid, adds that much more quality feel in the hand. Little refinements like that are the hallmarks of Rolex. Generally, Rolex product development works in long, sweeping product cycles, but not the case with the Day-Date II. This one from 2008 to 2014 had a short life cycle, but again, because of that short life cycle and because it was the flagship of the line, it is destined to become a collectible. There are a few modern Rolex watches that you can truly say you don't see too often. Building 1 million watches per year and at an increasing rate every year, Rolex is a mass manufacturer, a magnificent one, but a mass manufacturer. To have something that is uncommon is special. To have something that is uncommon but built to Rolex standards with Rolex resale value, Rolex product quality, precision, durability, that's exceptional. I can virtually guarantee that you'll hardly ever see these 218-235s in person. Possibly no more than 2 at a time, possibly no more than the one on your wrist. It's almost like having the exclusivity of an haute de gamme rare watch with everything that makes a Rolex everyday usable, kind of the best of both worlds. And speaking of everyday usability, this was, back in 1955 when it debuted, the Day-Date, the first watch with automatic winding and a day and a date, and what's inside the case still counts. The Rolex 3156 movement, chronometer rated, made in-house as always, incorporates all of the latest Rolex standards. The Parachrom Blue anti-magnetic hairspring, Rolex's own in-house Paraflex shock absorbers. It is a COSC chronometer, so yes, it's tested by the Control Officiel, but they only test the movement. Rolex goes one better, brings the movement back to its factory, and after casing it up, tests for water resistance and tests to make sure the movement still meets COSC standards. -4 +6, no more, generally better, every 24 hours. That's what it means to buy a Rolex chronometer, and it really does lend some credence to that term superlative chronometer that they put on the dial. They do go above and beyond, and because the movement is all in-house Rolex, it's tank tough. Realistically, I wouldn't want to smack a gold watch, especially one this finely finished, against the edge of a pool, but there is no reason you can't take this anywhere that you would take an Explorer 2, a GMT, a Datejust, any other oyster case Rolex sports watch short of one of the hardcore divers like the Submariner or the Sea Dweller. The Day-Date II is good for it, and with a full bracelet, it's not afraid to get wet. There's a lot to recommend this watch. Between its rarity, the fact that it's now discontinued, the fact that this example features an exceptional and exquisite combination of that Rolex gold with the black dial and applied Roman numerals, the quality of the latest Rolex President bracelet, the fact that, again, it is unique in the Rolex catalog, and as a Day-Date, it is the heir to that legacy of the watch that's been worn by every U.S. president between John F. Kennedy and, well, Bill Clinton, to be honest. That's a pretty impressive legacy, to say nothing of all the other world leaders, famous and infamous, who have worn a Day-Date. The name, it may be a nickname, but president is well-deserved, and it certainly does appear to have a presidential presence. Moreover, this example gives you everything you would receive if you want the full white glove dealer treatment. As a matter of fact, the watch even includes Rolex factory warranty. So if you truly want to roll with the last of the line, the last of the big presidents, this 41mm Rolex Day-Date II, purchased only in December of 2014 as one of the last of the lines, retains the original and the balance of the Rolex manufacturer warranty with all boxes, papers, documents of provenance, and technical manuals. This is an exquisite modern chapter in the Rolex Day-Date. And if you want the biggest Day-Date, this is the only show in town. Fewer and fewer of these are going to be available unworn, with warranty, with boxes, papers, and all accessories on the market as collectors begin to realize that the short-run flagship has had its time called. So see this future collectible Rolex Day-Date II 218235 with all factory boxes, papers, and factory warranty on our website, Watch You Want.